Hi, I'm back again. I just want to briefly go over something. When creating your works cited for your final paper, because you're using articles and essays that are in another text, which is language awareness, I just want to explain how you would cite those. Okay, so for Stephen King, I did this example, right? So it's King, comma, Stephen, period, reading to write. Now the title of the essay goes in quotation marks, right? Language Awareness 13th edition goes in either italics or underline because that's the actual book itself that it's in. Then it's edited by, so you just put ed period, Paula Schultz, Alfred Rosa, Virginia Clark, right, period. The place of publication is New York, colon, Bedford St. Martin's, right, that's the publisher, comma, 2020, period, and then print if you have the printed edition, or web if it's a Kindle edition or something. Now you must cite sources in your essay and in your works cited. I'm emphasizing this again because when I've read over all of your essays, I noticed that some of you did not do that. So please make sure that not only do you have a works cited page at the end with all the sources in it, but in the essay, anytime you're mentioning a source, you must give credit, right? So you need to say in a signal phrase, let's pretend we're doing Stephen King, right? The first time you mention it in the essay, you're going to say, according to Stephen King, in his essay, Reading to Write, right? And then you go on and explain what you're saying, right? Later on, if you mention it again, you could just say King says or etc., right? Because you already introduced him earlier on in the essay, and the same would go for anyone else. So the first time is called a signal phrase. So you're making sure that you're introducing the author and the work that they're writing. Okay, that's really, really important that you're able to do that. And then later, as I said, you could do it like that, or you could always put King in parentheses later because we already know where that source came from. Another thing, just about over quoting, some of you are using too many quotes, right? And we need to be very sparing about our quotes. Quotes should only be used when necessary, right? I would say if your originality report, when you do Turnitin, is turning up over 30%, that means over 30% is quoted, taken material from another text, that's too much. So anything over 30%, work on lowering that. What can you do? Delete the quotes, summarize in your own words, and then analyze, reflect on it. Also, after you're doing a quote, make sure that you spend time analyzing it and explaining it in your own words as well. Don't ever leave a quote just hanging by itself. Okay, and don't ever leave a quote at the end of a paragraph without spending at least 1 or 2 sentences explaining its relevance. And then just one last thing regarding conclusions. A conclusion should be an opportunity not just to repeat or copy paste anything that we said in our intro. It should actually be an opportunity to expand on the topic, to raise questions, to be creative. Okay, it should show that you I've really given this a lot of thought. Maybe use figurative language like we introduced at the beginning of the semester. Make a metaphor for what you're talking about, an analogy, something memorable. Paint a picture with words of the scene that you want to leave us with. Or ask questions. Do something that steps outside the box a bit. Okay, so never copy paste the same thing that you already said earlier in the essay in your conclusion. Conclusion should be a bigger thing. It should be something that opens the world up and leaves your reader saying, wow, I never thought of it like that. That was really memorable. Okay, so think about that and post any questions you have for the essays on the discussion boards. Please remember your essays are due next week on Tuesday, December the 7th. Okay, this is really important that they are due by that date so that I can get them back and the grades in before the final grading is due. Okay, so post any questions you have and have a good day.